What's up, guys? It's Fat Leo, and I'm back finally with another video. And this is going to be my team builder for my first round of the playoffs in the PBA. This is against JT, and I don't know if you remember or not, but JT beat me in the regular season. He broke my, I think, 7-game winning streak it was, and it was a really close 1-0. It was decided by one turn, one attack. It was really super close, great battle. But I made a mistake in the prep. For one of the things that I took for granted, I assumed that Venusaur would be physically defensive because its Gastrodon had to be specially defensive to take energy balls and stuff. Um, an unnecessary assumption because I could have run Psyshock and Psychic. So right now, I'm like, Venusaur still walls me, still takes on a lot of my team. So I'm not messing around. I'm running Psychic, and I'm not running Psyshock because I don't need it. Modest, max special attack, expert belt, Psychic. I don't care what kind of Venusaur he is, that's 2-hit KOing him. He's probably going to be special again, so if he goes for Giga Drain, it'll be annoying, but he can't sit there and go for Giga Drains. He's going to have to synthesis up one time, and I win that war. So I will kill him. He's dying. That Venusaur is going down. Next, I've got Energy Ball, again, to trap Gastrodon. If that's a physically defensive Gastrodon, like it was last time, that thing is dying, because I've got the proper investment now. I realized last time that physically defensive only dies to modest max special attack. He lived that Energy Ball at the end there because I was not modest max special attack, so he wasn't specially defensive. So I'm not making that mistake again. Those two mons are going to go down. Then I have Protect to scout that Heliolisk in case he runs him Choice again. I've got Mirror Coat because there's nothing else really to run. Heliolisk sub breaks to a Psychic, and no matter what his investment is, and Mirror Coat is going to do a lot of damage. So there's no point. So, if he subs, I'm just going to click Psychic to break the sub, and if he stays in or whatever, I click Mirror Coat. So there's no reason not to run Mirror Coat. It's mainly for that Heliolisk. And I forgot to go over the teams. Oh man. His team on the right, Weavile, Alakazam, Darmanitan, Gastrodon, Heliolisk, Cryogonal, Mega Venusaur, Hitmonlee, Drapion, Metagross, and Whimsicott. So that's his team. And mine should be familiar with. It's on the left side of the right side of the screen. Yeah, so mons I'm predicting him to bring the same. I think he's going to bring the same team and the same sets, but I'd be a fool not to prep for everything. So I did. And that's the Gothitelle set. It's going to do the same job, trap Venusaur. But I don't care if he knows it. There's nothing he can do about it because I'm gonna trap him. He's a Mega, so he can't escape. He can't run Shed Shell. So that Venusaur, if I catch him, he is dying. So that's that. Gastrodon, if he wants to run, Shed Shell on the Gastrodon, that's fine. And I'll get to that in one moment. So those two getting trapped is exactly what I need because they're pretty much the mons that are in the way of my two mons that are going to sweep. Now, why don't I care if his Gastro Shed Shell? Because his Darmanitan comes in, and because that's his only thing that's going to come in on an Energy Ball. If Weavile comes in, he takes 20% or 25% or something, probably, maybe even 30. If Alakazam comes in, his Sash is popped. If Venusaur comes in, I kill him with a Psychic. If Heliolisk comes in, he takes 25-30% from that Energy Ball, so he doesn't want to get those mons worn down. And if Heliolisk comes in, he's got a Volt Switch, and I can just Mirror Coat him. One thing I am wary of is if he leads Heliolisk and he Volt Switches, because I don't want a Mirror Coat, and I don't want a Psychic. If I'm Gothitelle. I don't want a Mirror Coat or Psychic because he could predict either of those and go into his Weavile, have me hit him for absolutely no damage, and then he can Pursuit Trap me as I try to switch out because I don't really have anything to hit him with. And if I stay in and he hits me with a pursuit, still I'm 2-hit KO'd, I think. And even if not, he wins that one-on-one, and if I switch out, I'm dead. So that's why I'm not actually going to lead Gothitelle this time, because you see my plan's a little different. I don't have Gengar and Raichu to abuse Specs Heliolisk, because I thought it would be too risky a strategy for me to bring Mons expecting him to have the exact same team as last time. I think that's what he'll bring, but again, I'd be a fool to just assume that. So my switch into Darmanitan now is Melodic, so this time I actually have a switch into Darmanitan. Something that can come in on U-turns, which would revenge Nico Robin, and actually be successful. So I've got Rocky Helmet, so if he wants to U-turn, I don't care. I'll get 16% off on him. If he wants to click Flare Blitz, he takes Rocky Helmet and Recoil, and I'll probably recover on him. If he goes into Venusaur, that's fine. I'll just set up a light screen and then recover or go straight into Nico Robin, because with Nico Robin and a light screen up, his Giga Drains are not going to do anything to me, so he really can't do anything. He cannot, under no circumstance will he win. Maybe with Giga Drain, like I haven't run the advanced calcs, but maybe he can actually stall me out, although I doubt it. Plus Giga Drain doesn't have a lot of PP, so it wouldn't really work, especially like if I get a light screen up, it's definitely not happening, so yeah. That's my switch to Venusaur. Now, I've got one more switch to Venusaur. Jack Rackham. Now, seems weird, right? Weak to poison. Venusaurs typically carry HP Fire, but I don't care. HP Fire does to me about 30% from a non-offensive Venusaur. And I can Synthesis up, I can Seed Bomb or Drain Punch, which is not what I'm going to be doing. I don't want to do damage to this Venusaur, because I want this Venusaur there as Spike, as a mon that'll just help me set up free spikes. Oh, and Sludge Bomb does nothing because it's bulletproof, prevents Sludge Bomb. So I don't want his Venusaur to die until I've got all 3 layers of spikes up. Now, he doesn't really have switch-ins to this thing. If he wants to bring in Weavile, Drain Punch kills him. If he wants to bring in Alakazam, that's perfectly fine, because I'm just going to click Seed Bomb, because with the Payapa Berry, I can live any one Psychic attack. If he goes for Calm Mind and then Psychic, he dies to 2 Seed Bombs. And I can come back in on the Venusaur, Synthesis up, and set more spikes. So worst case, I come in on the Venusaur, take a bit of damage, and then I set 1 layer of spikes. And I will save my Chestnut until I get all 3 layers up, because 2 mons on his team, Gastrodon and Mega Venusaur, just give me free opportunities to set up spikes. And his only hazard removal, I think, is Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee and Cryogonal, neither of which I expect to see, both of which I'm not scared of, so not a problem for me at all. Spikes are going to be incredibly important for my sweepers. Mega Camerupt and Charles Vane, who I will get to later. I'm bringing less offense. It's a little weird. I'm bringing a more defensive team with especially defensive Jack Rackham, physically defensive Melodic, and especially defensive Gardevoir, but I'm not playing defensive. I just need a few turns of stalling, because, like, not intentional stalling. I just need a few turns in which I will stall because I need to set some hazards. So I'm going to probably go for like spikes, synthesis on the Venusaur. If he doesn't switch, if he does, I mean, he doesn't have a great switch, not even Alakazam. So I'm just going to set some spikes on Venusaur. Now, his, what's it called? Where the hell is it? Gastrodon. His Gastrodon is an easy switch for Jack Rackham because I resist Scald and I resist his other move, Earthquake, or Earth Power, whatever. Hoping he doesn't get the Skull Burn. If he does, well, crap, I can't do anything about it. I couldn't really afford a spot on Melodic, or on Nico Robin for Heal Bell. I guess I could put Heal Bell instead of Mirror Coat, but I don't really want to do that. In case his Heliolisk locks himself into the hell is it called? Into a Hyper Voice, so I can hit him back. Also, I have speed investment to outspeed Venusaur, even if he like heavily speed creeps. I have enough to outspeed a 28 speed Venusaur, I think. Like a 28 EV speed Venusaur, so I told you I'm not messing around with this Gothitelle. I'm going to kill that Venusaur, no matter what. He's offensive. He's easily revenge killed by every single member on my team except Ambani. Yeah. So, why do I have Waterfall on this? Well, the reason is, I think I'll bring in I'll bring in Ambani on a U-turn, for example, from his his Darmanitan, and he goes into Heliolisk. So I know now. I know he's not clicking. He's not clicking Surf. I'm worried about Surf because it stops camera up. I was originally going to lead camera up, but Heliolisk is a good lead, and Heliolisk can have Surf, and no amount of HP investment will let me live a Surf. I had a plan. I originally was going to get enough investment to live in HP Water, and then I realized he got Surf, so I was like, nah, no point. Not going to bother. So, Waterfall is in case he goes into Alakazam to revenge me, or set up Calm Mind or something. Because a Waterfall, even from modest, Melodic does about 40% to Alakazam, which puts it in range of Sweeper number 1, Charles Vane, and Sweeper number 2, Bartholomew. HP Grass, why? Because HP Grass will allow me to hit the Gastrodon, which is going to come in on me on my Waterfall, get that Storm Drain boost, think that I have nothing to hit it, but I'm just going to slap him with an HP Grass because I don't want to be walled. But I'm not going to do that yet. I'm not doing anything until I get 3 layers of spikes up. I'm not killing Gastrodon or Mega Venusaur. It'll be good to weaken them, so I may click HP Grass onto the Gastrodon because it's not going to kill it, and it'll force it to at least recover, so I get a completely free switch into Jack Rackham and don't risk the burn. Now, I don't think he wants to take a Seed Bomb from Jack Rackham, so he's probably going to switch, so that's a spike up. So I want 3 layers, and I'm getting those 3 layers, one way or another. Also, Waterfall is because Scald doesn't break. Scald is a roll to break the sub at Calm Mind, or at +1 for Alakazam, and I don't want him to be able to wall Melodic, and I don't want him to beat Melodic one-on-one. He has to be like plus some ridiculous amount to be able to 2-hit KO Melodic. Or no, wait. I think I actually have the investment to live a Timid +2 Energy Ball with this, so that guy is not taking advantage of me. And anyway, honestly, I just need to switch into that Alakazam one time with Melodic, click Waterfall, and he's in range of either of my sweepers. And then I can just let it go down here because it doesn't matter. I can also click Light Screen to have any of the damage he does to me, because even if he Calm Minds up, I have Waterfall, so I'm still doing the same to him, and I can Recover Stall him and Waterfall him. He'd have to get like a ridiculous number of Calm Minds up to be able to damage me at all. So that's the point of Light Screen. Light Screen also just helps Jack Rackham, helps Nico Robin from that Venusaur. Alright, now, Jack Rackham. I've got spikes. I've already gone over that. Synthesis. I've already gone over that. I need to be able to wall Venusaur and Gastrodon and recover on them. And Seed Bomb is only there for Gastrodon, but it's a good move to have because if I don't have Seed Bomb, Chestnut's the type of Mon where you reveal your whole set pretty quickly. So he would be able to see that I don't have Seed Bomb, and then he'd wall me with Gastrodon for days. Even though I can set spikes, I am going to want to kill it eventually, so I can't just set spikes and leave it there to live forever. So, and Bonnie, Nico Robin, Jack Rackham all have coverage for it, and it will die eventually. When the time is right, it's going down. Drain Punch is for the Weavile, for the Heliolisk. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Heliolisk and Weavile both die to one hit and Drain Punch, and I get all my life back, so I don't expect either of those guys to stay in on me. I live an Icicle Crash from Weavile, even though I'm especially defensive. I live any Psychic Attack from Alakazam. So, like, best case is, he goes into, like, if I predict a U-turn on his Darmanitan and I go into Jack Rackham, he's definitely going into Alakazam. And I have the investment, or I have the Papa Berry to hit him for a lot of damage with the Seed Bomb, drop him into range of a hit from any of my sweepers, And if he does Calm Mind up, I still live, and I'm still at a range where Venusaur can't kill me. And, yeah, Seed Bomb puts him in range of one of my sweepers, so that's not a winning battle hit for him. He may think he's being smart by going in Alakazam, but he's really not, and I'll take him out. Next, Mary Reed. This is kind of like my 6th Mon. The only reason I have it here is to set Trick Room for Camerupt, but I decided to make it a special wall because it's a good answer to Heliolisk, to Specs Heliolisk, because I don't have to play mind games, I don't have to play around it, I can just switch in and deal with it. Because if he goes for Volt Switch, he's Volt Switching, good play, got momentum, but I'm hoping he clicks Hyper Voice more, and I take 2 Hyper Voices easily with Wish Protect and Leftovers. So like I don't think he'll go for Thunderbolt. He's not going for Thunderbolt. If he's going for damage, he's going for Hyper Voice. So he's not going to click Thunderbolt. It's either Hyper Voice or Volt Switch. If he clicks Volt Switch, he runs the risk of me going into Camerupt, who's a great switch into a Specs Heliolisk. I don't think he's going to predict my Camerupt to come in all game and click Scald. He may predict, but I don't, or Surf. He may predict it, but he also may be trying to catch me off guard with Surf, so he may not. I don't think he's ever going to click it, predicting Camerupt to come in. I'm also hoping he doesn't predict Camerupt to come in and doesn't click, or I'm hoping he always predicts Camerupt to come in and doesn't want to get locked in a Volt Switch, so he clicks Hyper Voice, Mary Reed walls, and the thing is, this may seem like it's pointless to just wall him, but he takes Spikes damage and Rocks damage every time he comes in, so if I switch Mons in and force Mons out, then they're just dealing damage to themselves. And it's a little bit of a stally, kind of not the most entertaining style, but it's all for a purpose. I'm not trying to stall Mons out and get them to lose to entry hazards. It's all for a purpose. I need to be very careful because I'm putting a lot into this. I'm putting like a lot of faith into my Charles Vane right here to sweep this guy. His team is incredibly weak to Charles Vane, but still, it's a lot of trust to put it all in the hands of one man, one pirate, Charles Vane. A lot for just one Mon, yeah, so I need to be very careful here. And I say one Mon because that was the original plan. Camerupt is kind of like an add-on, because I got 4 Mons and I didn't know which other 2 to get, so I looked through his team and like, Camerupt destroys this guy, let's get Camerupt in as well. So I'll go over Camerupt first. Weavile, Flamethrower kills. Alakazam, Earth Power, and Flamethrower have a 68% chance to kill a no HP Alakazam. Spikes aren't going to help me, and he's got a Focus Sash, so that doesn't even matter actually. So I need to get that Alakazam damaged. I want to switch in Chestnut. I want to switch and Bonnie in on it and get a Waterfall off, or I want him to come in on Chestnut and I get a Seed Bomb off, because I need him worn down. I need that Sash gone. I can even bring in Mary Reed, honestly. Hit him with a Psyshock, because Psyshock breaks the sub on a non-max HP. It does like a max of like 40%, which is ridiculous. And the reason it's Psyshock or Moonblast is because I want to hit Mega Venusaur on the physical side, since that's likely what he's going to be. So, yeah, I don't care if Weavile can like Pursuit Trap me, because I've got a easy switch into Weavile and Anbani. My Rocky Helmet is not too essential, because Darmanitan, it's only for Darmanitan, and he's going to be taking hazard damage every time he comes in anyway. Hazards plus recoil, so he's going to kill himself. So the helmet's not even too important. So I've got an answer to Weavile. And if he pursuits my Gardevoir, pursuit 80, base 80 power, neutral hit, max HP, I don't use Life Orb, so it's probably going to do about half. So not the biggest problem for me. So yeah, that's pretty simple. Wish Protect said, I may wish past into Camerupt, because Camerupt could take a Hyper Voice or something. I don't know. Maybe a Leaf Storm from the Venusaur, maybe an HP Water from the Venusaur, which I think it would be smart of him to run, but modest max special attack. Venusaur does not kill Camerupt with HP Water, so I'm okay with that. Protect to get the heal, and Trick Room to set it up for Camerupt. So back to Camerupt. Flamethrower beats Weavile. Earth Power and Flamethrower have a 68% chance to kill Alakazam, but again, he's going to be focused there, so I'll have to do something about that. Darmanitan dies to Earth Power. Gastrodon dies to HP Grass after 2 layers of hazards. And physically defensive, that is. Especially defensive, I think just dies to Rocks plus 3 layers of hazards. So I'm going to need this worn down. Ideally, completely removed. Heliolisk dies to Earth Power easily. Cryogonal dies to Flamethrower, unless, he dies to Flamethrower. Mega Venusaur shuts me down, but Mega Venusaur has to be the hell out of here pretty soon. Hitmonlee dies to, I think Hitmonlee dies to Earth Power after 2 layers of spikes. Drapion dies to Earth Power no matter what set he is. And Metagross dies to Assault Vest, max HP, max special defense. Careful Metagross dies to Flamethrower or Earth Power after 3 layers of spikes and rocks. But I don't think he's going to be that crazy, so probably a few layers of spikes and a Flamethrower will be enough to kill him. And Whimsicott just dies to Flamethrower. So, Mega Camera up like in one hit. This isn't even a case of 2-hit KOs. Everything dies. So, after a few layers of spikes. So, that's the plan with Camerupt. And then Charles Vane. Running Charles Vane, Adamant with a wide lens. Now, I originally had Jolly because I wanted to take no risks with him being like a Jolly Scarfer, and then I realized the only Scarfer that he would have, that he would get an advantage from being timid or Jolly, just to outspeed Scolipede after a speed boost, is Heliolisk. And the reason that I said I don't care about that is because if Heliolisk is Timid Scarf, he does not one-shot me. And Weavile is the only Mon left on the team with priority, so I would have to judge the situation. Ideally, I don't come in on Heliolisk to set up a Protect, because I Protect, he'll still outspeed me. So I decided that like, Scolipede is not switching in on anything. Like, I'm not hard switching Scolipede in on anything. Scolipede is only going to come in for free after I sack something. So, which means I'm not going to get a 6-0, but, whatever. Scolipede is only coming in when I sack something, when something goes down unexpectedly or for whatever reason. And I then click Protect. If Heliolisk is not in, and he brings in Heliolisk on me expecting to Protect, I don't care, because I get my speed boost and Protect fails, which means I can Protect the next turn and then I outspeed the Heliolisk. So basically, I should be good as long as I don't try to set up on the Heliolisk if he's Timid Scarf, which I don't think he'll even be. Now I'm running it with Wide Lens to make sure that I have a 93% chance to hit Mega Horns instead of 85. It's the playoffs, so I don't want to miss him. I don't want to lose a game because I miss a Mega Horn. So I'm going to try to not click Mega Horn at all, which is why I have X Scissor, because X Scissor is the only coverage move I need. Beats Weavile, Alakazam, Earthquake beats Darmanitan and Heliolisk. X Scissor also beats the or no, I think Mega Horn beats the, what is it called? Mega Horn beats the Whimsicott after Rocks, Earthquake beats the Metagross after Spikes, and Earthquake beats the Drapion after Spikes, and Earthquake beats Hitmonlee after Spikes. Cryogonal after Rocks dies to an X Scissors, so I don't need Mega Horn. The reason I have it is so that, oh, you know what? Anyway, the reason I have the Mega Horn is because if I have an opportunity to set up with Scolipede, and I know all the items, and I know nothing is going to live, and I know I have a sweep on my hands, if Gastrodon and Mega Venusaur are low enough, I can hit Mega Horn. It does, I think, about 45% to both of them. So, like, if they're at that range, I don't have to wait to take them out. I can just go for the sweep. Like, Mega Horn and my items are kind of like a weird thing for me. I'm not really sure what to run. I may change both of those, like my item and Mega Horn, in like right before the battle, game time decision, because I was thinking of running Giga Impact because in case I need a lot of damage, but I didn't because Mega Horn does more. But with Giga Impact, I could have a 99% accuracy with wide lens instead of 93. So I'm almost guaranteed not to miss, which could be really really important. So that's one thing to consider. Another item I was considering was Life Orb because of the extra damage is going to be good on Mega Venusaur or on what the hell's it called? Or on Gastrodon. But I don't want to take the recoil damage, so I was like, okay, maybe I can use Insect Plate, which gives me a 20% boost to bug moves, which is a good one. Then I decided Wide Lens because if I click Mega Horn and miss, then I'm like I basically lose because his Venusaur is going to smoke me with a HP Fire. Gastro will hit me with a Scald, and he's gonna burn me, or he'll hit me with an EQ and do a decent amount. So that's what the Insect Plate is for. Or not. That's what Wide Lens is for. And then there was one more thing I was considering. A Chilan Berry. I don't know how you pronounce that. Chilan? Chilan? Chilanberry. Chilan? Alright, anyway, Chilanberry. And the reason I was considering a Chilanberry, you probably have absolutely no idea what a Chilanberry is. It halves the damage of a normal move. One time. Why? Because his Heliolisk, if he's Scarfed, Timid Scarfed, outspeeds me and does up to 80%. Or, I don't know how much he does. Yeah, up to 80%. With a hyper voice. And he's not clicking Thunderbolt because I have Camera Up in the back. So if he's locked in, Camera Up comes in and he just dies. So that puts me in range of an Ice Shard from Weavile. And that's not good because I don't want to die to an Ice Shard of Weavile. So Weavile Ice Shard does up to 40 and Hyper Voice does up to 80. So that's up to 120. So the min is probably like 100. So I'm probably going to die. So a Chilan Berry, it's really weird, but it saves me from the Heliolisk. But in the end I decided not to worry about the Heliolisk. If I don't try to set up on the Heliolisk, I won't have a problem. And then the last item I had that I was considering was Snowball. Like you can see with these items that I just went down the list and looked for an item that I wanted to get because I really can't decide. I don't know what would be best in this matchup. Nothing on his team is going to outspeed me except that Heliolisk, so a berry isn't really useful, except the Chillin Berry. So Snowball, what that does is, when you're hit with an ice move, your attack goes up by 1. Now, Weavile could be trying to be sneaky here and hitting me with an Ice Shard, which gives me a +1 boost, which means my Mega Horns do a lot more to Mega Venusaur and to Gastrodon. So, again, it's all these items have their uses in battle. Honestly, I'm gonna take off life. I'm gonna take Life Orb off this list because I'm not going with that. I don't want that recoil damage. Because after enough recoil, maybe if his Weavile's banded or something, an Ice Shard can kill me. So I don't want that recoil. So I will have. I guess my choices now are between Wide Lens, Snowball, Insect Plate, and Chillin Berry. I think right now I'm kind of leaning towards Chillin Berry, but at the same time I don't want to miss a Mega Horn. I also might run Giga Impact instead of Mega Horn. That's obviously for like a last mon scenario. I actually scratched that out. I'm not gonna run Giga Impact because there's no reason for him to not bring in Venusaur, to wait until the end to bring in Venusaur or Gastrodon. There's no reason for him to wait so long. So I'm gonna stick with Mega Horn, but Chillin Berry. So the thing with why not Chillin Berry? Because if I pick my time to set up and I pick the right time, I don't need the Chillin Berry. Insect Plate would be good. Snowball, it's really circumstantial. He may not even hit me with an Ice Shard. Insect Plate, I think it's between Insect Plate and Wide Lens because those two help things that I can't control. I don't necessarily know how much life Venusaur and Gastrodon are going to be out when they switch in. So I will. So I don't want to So I'd rather have wide lens to hit a Mega Horn if I need to, and I'd rather have Insect Plate to do a lot of damage with Mega Horn if I need to, because the HP that they're at is not necessarily something I can control, because a lot of things can happen, rolls can happen, so I think wide lens or Insect Plate is likely the item I go with by the time this ends. Like, I'm really not sure. It's a 50-50. I could just end up changing it. And one more thing I forgot to say is that Camerupt also has HP Grass for the Gastrodon, and it does a huge amount of damage. It actually one-shots it. I think I did go over this. One-shots it after 3 layers of spikes and rocks if he's specially defensive, so... yeah, and then I set rocks. I was going to do it on Heliolisk, but he's probably got Surf, so I'm not going to do it on Heliolisk. Ideally, I lead Camerupt, and he leads Mega Venusaur, and I just click Stealth Rock, as he does. I don't care what he does. If he subs, I'll just break it with Flamethrower, so there's not really any point of him doing that. If he leads Heliolisk, I'm going straight into my Antibody, because he isn't clicking Volts. He isn't clicking an electric move. So I will take up to 41%, or I take 48% from his Specs Hyper Voice, and I take absolutely nothing from his Surf, so I heal up on that as he switches, and so on. So that's it. That's the plan. I do want to hazard stack him. I want to get all 3 layers of spikes up, and I think I will, and I want to get rocks up. But I'm not sure if I'll be able to get rocks up because it's not as easy for Camerupt as it is for Chestnut. And then Charles Vane and Bartholomew will sweep. I also have enough HP on Bartholomew. Max HP lets me live a Specs Hyper Voice in combination with a Life Orb Ice Shard, a Jolly Life Orb Ice Shard from Weavile. The max he can do is 93. So if it's an Adamant Life Orb Weavile, I'm pretty sure I still live it. So those 2 attacks, Camerupt can live through them, and yeah. Basically, I can set up Trick Room with Gardevoir, switch into Camerupt on the Heliolisk, take a Hyper Voice, hit him with an Earth Power, Weavile comes in, Ice Shards me, and I continue to sweep. So that's the plan. Either Camerupt or Charles Vane should sweep, and I need my Hazards up, and Weavile, and Gastrodon, and Mega Venusaur gone. So I think it'll work. I think I've taken the necessary precautions to make sure that this sweep works, and I will see you guys at the battle. Thank you for watching. Fat Leo out.